The perfect strategy does not exist. No strategy works all the time, nor does it win on every single trade. Don't waste your time trying to make it perfect. Focus on getting just a little bit better. Every trade, every day, will have major impacts on the long term. Hey there, Tamir from Fibonacci-Traders.com here with the daily market recap. Please hit the like and subscribe. Share with friends, hit the notification bell, and let's hit the charts. SPY on the daily, trying hard to break up and above this long-term trend line. This long-term trend line we are following in the past few weeks, few months, and now finally we have a break up above and close above it, but with earnings season peak is coming this week and next week. I want to see continuation towards the 410, and in my opinion, once price will close above the 410, then we might get a serious bull run towards the 427 and maybe even all the way to 450. Dow Jones, we can see bouncing between the 330 that established as a very strong support and the 344, which is a very strong resistance for price. So let's see if earnings season will push price back above the 344 towards the 350 and maybe towards this crossroads of 362 and maybe 370. But time will tell. Price is king. Follow price. Use levels to manage risk. Never be biased. IWM once again reaching the 190, going for another attack at this 190. Strong resistance, this 190, as we can see since September last year. Every time price reached this level, it got rejected. So let's see, once again, price is going to attack, and once and if it will break to the upside, we can assume 194 and maybe even 202 will be next. QQQ, very strong breakup and above this long-term trend line. Same as the SPY, we are following this trend line for the past several weeks and months. Now, finally, we got a break up above and close above this trend line. Now, let's see continuation with earnings season. Microsoft, Tesla this week, Apple, Amazon next week. Swing low, swing high. 289 is a very strong resistance. Only by looking left, we can see it was a very strong resistance. Now, once again, resistance breaking up and above, continuation. We will get to 98. Bitcoin on the daily, basically moving sideways for the past 4 days, but maybe we will get another consolidation, same as we got here. Then we got a bull run with this candle. 23,500 is a very strong resistance. Breaking up and above, we can assume 26,300 will be next. Ethereum, same thing, consolidating below the 1670 and above this trend line. Let's see where price takes us next. SMH finally breaking up above the 230 area. This 230 area was a very strong resistance for the SMH price. Now, with a very strong breakup, 240 is the next resistance, and maybe we can get towards the 246 and the 252, but we do have here this small gap that we need to pay attention, because we know more than 80% of all gaps will get filled throughout time. AMD, another great example of why we need to understand the relationship between trend lines and price action. Looking left, this trend line started over December 2021, and each and every time price reached this area of this trend line, it got rejected many times in the past. And now Monday, price closed on this trend line, tried to break up and above. AMD closed at the high of the day, almost the high of the day, but we need to pay attention to this gap here at a 70.3 and another gap to the downside over here. We know that 80%, more than 80% of all gaps will get filled throughout time. So in AMD, I would wait for another day or two, close above this trend line, and we'll get out before earnings. AMD earnings, Tuesday, January 31st. NVDA, as we said in the past few videos, we are expecting price to reach the crossroads of these three trend lines. The white trend line is the long-term trend line that started over November 21. Now price broke up and above and got hit with this orange-green trend line area, which represents resistance for the higher highs. Let's see continuation above this area or some kind of a pullback. NVIDIA looking strong, 190 now. Together with this crossroad is a very strong resistance, breaking up and above, and we have this gap here that will get filled at the 230 area. And of course, everything you hear and see on this video and any other video on my channel is for educational purposes only. Always you do your own due diligence. Never follow blindly anyone on social media, paid or free services. Educate yourself and become your own indicator. Apple breaking above and closing above this trend line, and now with earnings coming up February 2nd, let's see continuation to the upside. We have all the levels. We can take also all the way to here. Swing high, swing low. Now we have all the levels to the upside to manage risk for future potential resistance. Tesla earnings coming up on Wednesday, this Wednesday. We can clearly see a triangle to the upside trying to get back and attack this orange trend line. This orange trend line started over September of 2022, and each and every time price reached this trend line, it got rejected back to the downside. Now let's see if earnings on Tesla can help her break up and above the orange trend line and start some kind of a run towards the 200, or breaking to the downside, and Tesla, in my opinion, can very quickly will retest once again the 100. So pay attention on Tesla. I'm waiting after the earnings. Netflix, as we said and identified this trend line, this uptrend channel few videos ago, few weeks ago already. We said once it will bounce from the yellow trend line, it will bounce all the way back to the red one, and here we are. Now let's see if Netflix bulls have enough power in their hands to break above this channel towards the 397 area and maybe going towards this gap here at a 505. TAN, another great example. Once again, trend lines, price action, and that's it. This is the most important relationship in trading. identify the trend line, and see how price reacts to those trend lines. And once again, PAN struggling to break above this trend line, but if it will break up and above, we can take Fibonacci levels, swing low, swing high, and then we can get potential support to the downside and potential resistance to the upside. Shopify, very strong day on Shopify, reaching to the 45 area, but we have this gap here, and we do not like gaps, especially if we are seeking to go long and we have gaps to the downside. I would wait for another day or two, because we know more than 80% of all gaps will get filled. I'm waiting for a close and break above the 45 area, and we have February 15, we have Shopify earnings. Amazon, consolidation between the 92 and the 97 area. February 2nd, next week, is Amazon earnings. Let's see until then if Amazon can break above the 98 area and closing the gap at a 110 before earnings. So we have levels to the upside and levels to the downside. I will go long above 98. And once again, educational purposes only. This is not advice to take any kind of trade or investment. Do your own due diligence. If you put the work into it, 2-3 years, no one will know better than you. Meta, very nice run since October lows, November lows at the 88, now at the 143. For some reason no one talks about it, but the Meta is already 62% to the upside since November lows. Now with earnings coming up February 1st, let's see continuation towards the 156. Look left, 156 was a very strong support. So with high probability, it will become a very strong resistance. And Microsoft earnings coming up Tuesday, tomorrow, after the close. And as we can see, once again, Microsoft failed to close above this trend line. This trend line goes all the way to December 2021. Each and every time price tried, it got rejected or very fast got back below this trend line. And now doji of a trend line, indecision candle. Let's see where price will take us, where the market will take Microsoft after the earnings. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you do, please hit the like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other future videos. Share with friends, family, and until the next video, stay safe.